So we talked about the planning process, and I really do believe that this is probably one of the steps, unfortunately, that does get missed because we too tend to jump straight to recruitment. And I wanted to talk a little bit from both perspectives. So there's the planning that an individual goes through when they're thinking about perhaps transitioning onto a board or an NED career. And then there's, of course, the planning that a board has to do when they're thinking about developing, they have an opening for a new director. So, from an individual's point of view, that planning process is really important because unfortunately, I've seen far too often people who get to the latter stage of their career and then think, I'd like to give back, I'd like to still participate, and a board position seems like the right thing to do, but they haven't done any of the planning, and it doesn't happen in 5 minutes. You have to build a network, you have to have an idea of what types of boards that you'd be suited for to start developing your skill set, knowledge and experience in that area, to be networking with the right people, to be thinking about how to go about all of that. So it really is something that you need to be thinking 2 or 3 years ahead, not even 6 months ahead, because it can be quite a long process. From the board's perspective, of course, the other side is true. Boards should be thinking about, well, we've got a director of position opening, either because we've got a retirement on the board or we're going to create a new board position. What is it that we're looking for? What skills, what behaviours, what networks are we looking for that person to bring to us? What sort of experiences, what sort of talent? And particularly to think about it through the lens of the strategy of the business, because far too often we jump to, what is great practice, but it's a skills matrix. And that just is a cookie cutter approach. And you really need to be thinking of it through, yes, you need the breadth of skills that are normally needed for boards. So you need your financial skills, your legal skills, your IT skills, particularly these days. HR, if you ask most directors what's keeping them up at night, it's actually not understanding the finances and the legal. It's the people side of the business, generally speaking, and a lot about cyber today. So thinking about those skills, sure, but it's also thinking about, well, what type of board are we now? Are we more of a managerial board and we're becoming more sophisticated? So we need to start elevating to be more of a governing board. What type of person would satisfy that sort of need on our board in terms of how we interact, the experience that we have? And it's all of those sorts of questions. It might be that your business is going to go through a massive transformation or a disruption. So you need someone that's adept at that disruption and that transformation and innovation agenda. So you're really looking at not only the skill sets to flesh out your general board matrix, but you're thinking about it from a strategic point of view and what you might need.